Selamat datang ke ASM Podcast yang dibawakan khas oleh Akademi Sains Malaysia. Siri podcast ini merupakan platform perkongsian topik-topik berkaitan sains, teknologi, inovasi dan ekonomi STIE secara santai dan mudah difahami. Setiap episod akan menampilkan jaringan pakar ASM yang akan berkongsi pengalaman dan pendapat mereka tentang STIE seiring dengan etos ASM. Budayakan sains, raikan teknologi, cetuskan inovasi.
Welcome to another exciting episode of ASM Podcast, From Penang to Japan, the National Science Challenge Winners Odyssey. I'm your host Shakira, and today we have a special guest joining us. Please welcome the NSC 2022 Champion SMJK Jit Sin. Also with us here today, Miss Winnie, the mentor teacher. Hello everyone.
Hi.
Okay, thank you for being here with us today. Okay, before we dive into our discussion about your past experience from the last year's NSC, could you please introduce yourself briefly to the listeners?
Okay, my name is Wayne and I'm a current Form 5 at SMJK Jit Sin. Very nice to see you all here.
My name is Yi Xiang. I'm also a Form 5 student from SMJK Jit Sin. It's great being here today.
I'm Chong Young Zi, a Form 5 student from SMJK Jit Sin. Nice to meet all of you.
Yeah, I'll be the mentor of this National Science Challenge for this our school team, Winnie Lo Yen Ting. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, now let's officially start our podcast. Okay, the first question. For your experience last year during NSC, could you share any memorable or highlights from the competitions?
Right. The most memorable part about the competition would probably be the grand final. Of course, it was exhilarating to say the least. We were put up against so many other brilliant people, and we emerged victorious in the end. But in the process, it was like really fun getting to know them all, and really fun preparing for the grand final.
Okay. Okay, now to Miss Winnie, my question is, as a mentor teacher, can you share the preparations you took to ensure the students are well prepared for the competition?
Yeah, at first, as you all know, we have to shortlist among our school, so-called, some of them are from Science Society, so I will maybe choose from among those members. And then, of course, we have to also ongoing, keep on mentoring, at the same time encouraging, having pep talk, or maybe especially giving some constructive ideas. Okay, so along the way, we have to make sure they have this progress, especially to beat the due date. Yeah.
Okay, now back to the students. Okay, let's discuss your winning prototypes. Okay, can I know what's the thought process behind its creation and development?
Yes, because our project is actually based on environment, you see, we need to create a project to address the pollution in our environment. And so what we think that pollution, especially water pollution, is the most severe kind of cases that we have in our globe. So we wanted to have a way to clear all the water pollution, like in the rivers, especially because of the river the river situation in Malaysia is actually it is not so good according what do we think. So we were inspired by the project which is so-called the bubble barrier in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and they use bubbles to block the trash from flowing on the water.
Bubbles.
And that is a very massive project. And so we have some inspiration in the idea. We made it small scale, different to them, and then we made it if we can mass applicate it inside our national rivers. And so we can clear and collect all the rubbish inside rivers and make our rivers clean again.
Do you think the prototype is ready to be used? right?
It still needs to undergo some minor changes, but I think it's probably ready to be used.
Maybe we can start somewhere small first to see how
Yes.
it goes from there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the grand final. Okay. Can I know how did you prepare for the event specifically? Was there like any additional steps you took to ensure the success of the stage?
So actually, we have to prepare for the quizzes and we have to practice for the presentation and many things. And when we are testing our prototype, we actually face some problems. So the prototype doesn't seem to work. So we have to come up with a new idea to solve the problem as is an completely new innovation. So it's not easy to solve the issue. So for me, I think it's a little bit challenging for me to balance between my academics and the competition, but it's worth it.
Okay. Okay. So future finalists can take note of what they just said. Okay. More question for Miss Winnie. Okay. How do you think does the National Science Challenge contribute to the development of students' scientific knowledge and skills?
Yeah, definitely yes. Because from the whole process, the soft skills is very crucial in order to have this good presentation, so that they can convey the message with a language that can be understood by the audience. So they need to know what level or who are the targets. And then throughout the whole learning, not only soft skills are needed, as what we say in our one of the education blueprint. So it is lacking in science students. So this is a very good platform whereby STEM-related knowledge get to gather and they can really focus and instill more interested in science, all sciences. I mean, biology, physics, chemistry, maths, and additional mathematics. So it's a well-balanced platform, I should say. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Additional question. Okay. What sets the National Science Challenge apart from other science-related competitions or activities that the students have joined before? Okay. Students also can answer.
Right. The main difference would be that it's on a completely different scale. It's like normally in competitions you have maybe a few dozen, maybe 100 teams joining. But in the National Science Challenge, you have thousands of people, and then you're competing against each other in a massive scale. So I think that's what really sets this competition apart from the others.
How about your view?
Yeah, so this platform, as what I say, not only testing their knowledge, so hands-on skills typically is quite challenging as well, because at first they started alone, but after that, luckily, the organizer have these workshops that actually helps a lot, okay, whereby industry mentors, they chip in and then they commented. So we having this improvement for the betterment of their projects. Not only that, they could also practice all these skills when they come to working life in future. So it's very practical.
Okay, it's good to hear that how NSC really stood out.
Yeah, really
okay.
helps.
Okay, let's talk about your experience after winning the NSC last year. Okay, how did you feel when you first found out that you will travel to Japan? If I'm not mistaken, the prize was only revealed at the end of the grand ceremony, correct?
Yes.
Well, it did come as a surprise, but actually before the competition itself, there were actually some banners outside that said something about study trip to Japan, something like that. But it didn't really specify what it was for. So I just took it. This they have study trips to Japan now, and then suddenly when they announced the champion, they said, "Oh, you're going to Japan," and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Okay. That must be a nice memories for you.
Yeah,
yeah,
it comes
it
as
was.
a surprise.
Surprise. Okay. To listeners, We will back shortly to talk about the winner's journey to Japan in detail. Stay tuned. Welcome back to ASM Podcast. We are here today with the winners of the 2022 National Science Challenge. And now for the exciting part, we will dive into their journey to Japan. Okay, before going to Japan, what were your expectations and did the experience you gained meet those expectations?
So to me, I have expected Japan to have high technologies and the Japanese culture, but what I have seen is still out of my expectation. For example, the currency exchange machine to Wi-Fi covering the whole city, the technology level of Japan is beyond my imagination.
Can you elaborate more on the currency exchange machine?
So it's basically a machine where you can put in foreign money and it comes out with Japanese yen.
Oh, okay. So it's just a littlest thing, but it is very highly advanced.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. They tend to do automation for like even the littlest things in Japan.
They massively applicated it on terms of scale that people in in Japan they can interact with these machines.
Yeah, they really pay attention to the efficiency lah,
Yeah,
for the daily life routine. Okay. During your visit to Japan, you explored various science museums, exhibitions. You also visited the Toyohashi University of
yes.
Technology. And can each one of you share what was the most interesting STEM knowledge that you learned?
For me, it's the Toyota Commemorative Museum as an eyewitness, and I seen the history of the Toyota company, and I saw the transition from a fabrics company to an automobile company. It's very impressive, as also I thought, because it can go from an area that's entirely not connected to another area, and so what I witnessed there is extraordinary. I've seen a lot of ways of making several kinds of fabric. And there are many, many more types of fabric more than I even imagine. They are even used in many, many areas, such as in our daily life or in ballistics and ammo and so on. And so I think this is a very good experience for me.
Right. For my personal favorite, it would be the Nagoya Science Museum. I liked how they actually made everything interactive. Like you can interact with even the most basic of science concepts. It's more like tangible, and you can try it for yourself, and then you can understand it better that way.
Okay.
So to me, it's the Tamura Laboratory in Toyohashi University of Technology. So at there we have seen some latest technologies of the world, including electric transfer by light, and also we have seen weak robots, which are they're like little children, and they will sometimes make mistakes and will seek for humans' help. So I think this is a good idea of making robots to emphasize on the knowledge of a caring society instead of the efficiency and productivity of robots.
Okay. Just now, Ms. Winnie has talked about the language barrier, and can I ask from the perspective from the students, how do you manage to navigate yourself through the language barrier?
Well, it certainly was a challenge at first. So, like when we first touched down in Japan, we walked into a shop, and then they were like,
Wait.
hello.
Yeah,
we were like,
and
then we're like, what are you talking about? But then after some time, like maybe from the second day onward, then we got, we're slowly starting to get the hang of this. Like we can hear like a bit of what they're talking about, and then as time went on, we were like slowly getting the hang of the language, and then by the end of the trip, we were like pretty much able to understand what they were talking about, even though we couldn't like converse fully in them, but we could speak some broken Japanese, something like that.
So you guys did some studying first lah, on the language beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay. During your whole time in Japan, what was most surprising or unexpected thing you discovered perhaps any memorable moments you would like to highlight? Maybe you can share some pictures.
Sure. Let me see. Like some memorable moments in Japan. Yes. Definitely, I remember our trip to Disneyland.
Yes,
The
you
Tokyo
can show the
Disneyland.
camera to the camera.
Oh yes. Yes. Here's.
Oh, it's stretched out.
Wait.
It's stretched. Yeah,
Yes.
Just we took a few pictures in Disneyland. This is us now. We are very happy right now.
So you guys just did not just learn, you guys also play. So
Yes.
it's a good experience.
Yes.
yeah.
Apart from that, I think I'm very surprised in one thing. The Japanese government, they seem to press STEM as a very important matter because they widely spread the use of scientific buildings or even museums inside the whole territory of Japan, and so the people can learn about the way that STEM works and what is science and about scientific knowledge generally. I think this is a very good way and a good approach to make the country even more technologically advanced and more technologically advanced.
Okay.
Right, and speaking about people, it's actually very surprising how like a lot of people in Japan actually love to learn. So with every museum we've visited, like there's always like maybe like 1 or 2 group school trips. There'll be 1 or 2 school trips there, and the students will be like super enthusiastic to learn about whatever's in the museum, like maybe geology or maybe like the science inside, and then actually the general population of Japan is also like really eager to visit their own museums and like learn from. They take learning as like maybe a fun activity to do and not like a general chore.
Okay, how about you?
So to me, I think there is something very surprising is the streets are very clean in Japan. Like there are not even a single small piece of paper on even at the back of the stalls. So I think it's because of their education level. So they are taught to take care of themselves and the environment since they're at young age.
Yeah, I also think that Japanese people, they really respect their own land. So because they really respect their own land, they really take care of the littlest thing. So, and also they respect their own people. So by not throwing or damaging the streets, it's really a way to show that they are respecting each other. That's my opinion. Okay, so
As what I see, this is very shocking because I can even see just small kids herself without parents. They can just go to school along the whole street, like very safe. No worries.
So it's very safe.
Quite.
So the parents just let off their children like that.
I think they already get used to like letting go. Very
So
independent.
it is also maybe a way for the kids to learn to be independent.
So the education there system, I think, is very, different. Maybe we can learn partly in terms of like letting go. Go ahead
and
you
trust the
decide,
children. Let the children do some mistakes.
It's all right.
But at the same time, gotta be watchful.
Correct.
Okay, can one of you share the key takeaways, a lesson you learned from your time in Japan, the key one, both academically and personally?
Academically, I went to a few museums and I saw the difference between our Malaysian and the Japanese STEM knowledge. Actually, they are not so much of a difference, but I think that they focus on the smaller parts, like they focus on the childhood education from the viewpoint of STEM. For example, they show the kids about how this functions, like how does the toilet function, how does your air conditioner function, how does the refrigerator function. They show the kids for this, and from small age they will gradually learn until their academics reach a very, very high level, which in turn makes the country even more stronger.
Yes. Okay.
And apart from the academics, I think that I learned to become more independent without any help. Like I went to another country, another foreign country with just my friends, and not, my family is not around. I got to do everything myself, and yes, that's a good experience for me, I think.
Yes, I think it's a good exposure.
Yes,
for you.
yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, the next question is, sorry. Okay, to Miss Winnie, as a science educator, did you come across any interesting STEM-related knowledge that you think it is suitable to be adopted back in Malaysia?
Yeah, as just now we mentioned about
educating
since young. That is very, very important because we tried to overprotected our children and then ended up they are not independent, and then most of the time, mommy, you do lah. It's part like most of our homework.
Yes.
So we should let them explore. So it's a good exposure since at a younger age when children are visiting, having a study tour. So this is very interesting to have knowledge beyond classroom, which is more interesting than just everything within the textbook.
Yes.
So that they can think out of the box. So it's very important.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, lastly, how do you think this study visit will influence your future academic and career pursuits?
For me, I think this visit to Japan taught me many things. From the point of academics, I had a look at Japan's like the museums and the scientific knowledge had made me wonder what will I pursue in my future. It seems like because there are many types of knowledge like chemistry, biology, even like additional mathematics there. I see many mathematics stuff in the museum, and I started to begin to think, what will I do in my future? And this let me make my decision.
So it strengthened your kind of strengthened your interest in STEM.
Yes.
Okay. So.
Right, for me, I think I pretty much probably found what I want to do in the future. So it's like during my visit to Toyohashi University, it was like there was this robotics facility which my friend mentioned just now. That's about weak robots. I think the concept is like really interesting, and it's like it's a completely new take from the robotics that I imagined and from what they are really applicating in their university. And so I guess in the future, probably maybe in like university, I would like to try my hand at something like robotics.
This is made by the students themselves. Yeah?
Yes. There's research of the university.
Right, it's a hand sanitizer robot. It's really
Oh, I
interesting.
see. Oh, you put your hand inside?
Yeah, you put your hand
Oh,
under.
okay.
Yes.
They run test run in the society.
Yeah, it's actually encouraging people to clean their hands because
it's a good way.
Okay. Also, can I ask just some trivia question? Do you have a chance to try a lot of local cuisines? And if so, do you have any favorites?
Right, my personal favorite would be the udon. It's like it's
Wow, it looks so good.
right. This is actually a
my
more
God.
unique variety of what they have there. It's like
Yes.
something with cheese and curry in it. So,
In the udon?
yeah. So basically, it's like completely different from what we from the udon that we eat here, and it's like because it's like local ingredients and stuff.
local sauce,
So the viscosity, the taste, everything is like totally different.
And I heard that actually their portion is big, right? Is
Yes,
it big?
it's quite big. Yes, it is actually quite big.
Yeah. Okay. Other question. What is the most beautiful sights you've counted in your whole time in Japan?
During the flight from Tokyo to Nagoya, I actually had the chance to see Mount Fuji from afar, from like in the plane, and so like it was like absolutely breathtaking. Even from that far of a distance, I could like see
It's clear.
the snow and everything on top of
Oh.
it. And it's like, oh my god, it's great.
It's great. Just before you land, or you already seen the beautiful sights?
It's like In the middle.
In the
midst
middle,
of the flight.
in the midst of the
And you
flight.
look down and you saw the mountain below you.
Yes.
But we couldn't get to see because it's not near the windows.
They were sitting on the other side of the
He was
field.
sitting beside the window.
aiyo.
He got this opportunity. I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe next time you went to Japan, you go to Japan, you must
Make
take
sure.
note.
Yes, yes.
Near the window.
Beside the window.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your experiences and insights with us today. Okay, it was a pleasure to have you on your podcast and in our podcast. But before we end, I want to ask, is there any tips or advice to the new, new, and also for the mentor teacher for this year's NSC?
Right. So, to all students, communication is the key to actually achieving anything in this competition. So, without my friends and without my friends, we couldn't I couldn't maybe achieve anything by myself. So I have to communicate effectively with them, and there comes the teamwork. And so with all of us combined, we could manage to complete everything by time. And yeah.
Okay. So, any last advice to other mentor teachers? Because I believe the student could not succeed it without their teacher.
Actually, 99% we should say comes from perspiration. So hard work is of course, commitment of course, but 1% luck. So don't forget, for those who are already or not yet in future, we still need very young scientists like you. So we hope that you can progress our country using what you have learned in school or beyond the school. So we hope that all this will be having lots of fun throughout the whole journey of yours. Yeah, so this is fun actually.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your experiences and insight with us today. It was a pleasure having you. Okay, that concludes today's episode. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with the students and mentor teacher of SMJK Jit Sin and gained some valuable insights. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes. To all new teams who made through the state level, we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Bye.